good, Joseph?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Everyone good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. All right, so Jamel Lene, Jamel, Lene, L-A-N as in Nancy, E-E, accent mark on the end, Tampa Police Department, Public Information Officer. Just after 7:30 p.m., the officer was attempting to pull over a vehicle here on East Hillsborough Avenue and 43rd Street when the suspect pulled onto 43rd Street and hopped out of his vehicle armed with a weapon. Now the officer, seeing the weapon, immediately backs his vehicle up, and as he's backing his car up, that's when the suspect opened fire on this officer. Now multiple shots went through the front windshield, going through, shattering the back glass of the officer's patrol car. The suspect then ran into the Brandywine apartment complex where K9 tracked him on a third floor landing, and he was taken into custody. Now, again, the investigation is still very preliminary, but we've learned that this suspect was involved in multiple shootings around the city, the county, and along I-275 within a 40-minute time span before our officer was trying to pull him over here on East Hillsborough Avenue. The suspect is a 31-year-old male. The officer, a 24-year-old officer. He was injured as a result, in the forearm, as a result of the shooting. Right now, he is recovering at Tampa General Hospital, and Chief Brian Dugan just went and spoke to him and saw him, and he spoke with the officer, and he was told that, you know, the officer is in really good spirits right now. Any questions?
You said there are several other scenes here in this. Can you elaborate more on just the other incidents that the suspect was involved in?
We were told that the suspect was driving around, firing his weapon, also pointing his weapon at other people.
Just randomly?
Randomly.
Anyone else injured in this whole thing?
There are a couple more injuries, but I believe those are in the county, and so you'll have to reach out to the county for that information.
Is that the officer's vehicle right there, facing us?
That is the officer's vehicle, and we do have a picture that we will share in a media alert with you guys. Since it was daylight, you can get a better visual of what the car looked like with all the bullet holes in it.
The officer, when he was pulling him over, was he aware of what this suspect had been doing or was accused of doing?
The officer was making the pulling the suspect over because of the calls that were coming in, and so this vehicle matched the description, and so he was pulling this person over.
Do we know about how many other shootings there were?
I can tell you for the city of Tampa, I can tell you the scenes that we have. I'm not sure how many he actually shot at, but we have between possibly 7 to 8 scenes within the city of Tampa. You know, obviously we'll put more information out in a media alert letting you know exactly where and where he did the shootings and where he pointed the gun at.
None of the scenes in Tampa, were there other injuries in those scenes, or is this the only one?
I think that the one here in Tampa, we only had one injury, which is our officer, right?
There was someone shot on 275.
Okay, so there was also someone shot up on 275.
And that person who was shot on 275, was that like a car that was moving on the interstate and the person was firing while they were driving?
Yeah.
Do we know how that person's doing?
I have to get back with you on that.
What a terrifying situation here. Just hearing that someone was just randomly going around town, around the county, firing at will at cars and people going by.
You know, obviously we wanted to get this person into custody. We weren't sure of the circumstances, that what was going on at the time when these calls were coming in. But obviously for people who were seeing, and witnesses who were seeing what was going on, this had to be a scary moment for them to see this person driving around either shooting his weapon or pointing it at people. So again, we definitely wanted to get this person into custody, and that's what our officer was basically trying to do when this suspect opened fire on him.
Jamel, you know, we have a few scenes here going on in Tampa. A lot of people being redirected traffic-wise as well. I know some people may be confused, especially at this time at night. Would you say to them, the people at home, that the community is safe now that this suspect is in custody?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was taken into custody right away. I mean, it wasn't long before K9 tracked him and took him into custody. I mean, obviously the scenes are roped off so forensics can do their job and do what they have to do. And, you know, obviously the traffic is you know, closed down in certain areas, but our officers are directing or detouring people to where they can go to get to their destination.
Did the officer get a chance to fire any shots in response?
Nope.
No officers fired any shots?
No.
Jamel, can you reiterate about how long this whole melee was going on? How when this may have started up to this point?
I just want to make sure. It started in Tampa.
6:52 on the first 911 call.
That's
6:52 p.m.
okay. So we got the first 911 call around 6:52 p.m. And then when did we actually pull him? It was
1934 to 7:34.
Okay, so between almost 6:52, almost 7 p.m. to almost, just after close to 7:40, this is when this whole time, this whole thing was going on, where this man was driving around, again, shooting randomly at either vehicles, at people. We know of one scene where the details will be provided later, but there were children actually in the area where this guy was actually, pointing his weapon. So we definitely wanted to make sure we got this person into custody.
Now, I know that having anyone injured is a sad situation. Thank goodness the officer's going to be okay, but this could have been so much worse.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could have been so much worse, and this is just, a testament to, what our officers have to go out and, do every single day that they are out there on the streets to not only protect the community, but also, try to protect themselves. But it's about the community first, and so he was a danger to the community, and right now the first priority was getting him off the streets.
Lives were saved tonight.
Lives were saved tonight.
Do we know any motive as to why he would have been doing this, or was he possibly shooting at people he may have known?
That's part of the investigation.
The officer shot back to the suspect?
No, the officer did not return any fire.
Will you be releasing the suspect's name?
Eventually, yes.
What was the age of the suspect?
Say that
Do you
again?
have the age of the suspect?
31 years old.
This officer is 24 years old.
The
How
offi-
long has he been an officer with TPD?
About 1 year.
The man that went into the Brandywine Apartments, was he inside a unit when he was found, or just within the complex?
We're told now he was just K9 tracked him within the complex on a third floor level.
Is the suspect's vehicle down there? We can't quite see it. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it from here. I believe it's still over by the apartment
But
complex.
it's over there. Oh, okay, got it.
Do you know what kind of weapons he was firing at the officers with?
It's part of the investigation.
How long the street's going to be closed?
I can't tell you that.
Just want to clarify something to what you just said. So the officer pulled out or tried to back through and blocked the suspect's car, and the suspect jumped out and then fired at the officer. But then did he keep driving his car towards the apartment, or did he run on foot?
He ran on foot. Yeah, so he didn't block the suspect. What he did was he was pulling him over. When the suspect jumped out and the officer saw a weapon, he immediately backed up. Hold on. Thank you. When the officer saw weapons, then he immediately backed his vehicle up, and that's when the suspect began to fire his weapon.
It's only one suspect.
Only one suspect, yes.
And because this was also happening within the county, I mean, he's facing multiple charges right now, right?
Right, and I think, the county, obviously, they're working their scenes, and we're working our scenes, and I'm sure there'll be more information that'll be released.
There's nobody else with him, or no friends, buddies, nothing like that?
I mean, he's the only person in custody at this time. If there's anyone else that's involved, that's something that will, eventually come out maybe later. But right now, we have him in custody.
And the only other injury you know of is the one on 275, right?
For the city, there are other injuries, but you'll have to reach out to the county for that information.
And he was the only one in the car.
And he was the only one in the car.
Did those situations with the county, did those happen before you got your 911 call here in the city? Additional?
Those were additional, but I believe those happened after, right, Eddie?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I believe those happen after.
Back and forth.
Yeah,
Goes in
it's
and out.
yeah, and again, it's all preliminary information. So there could be more people who actually call in and say, "Hey, you know, I saw the same guy, and either he shot here or he did this," and so the time frames could change. So just keep that in mind also.
Is there anything that you want just to kind of help with that process? Anything that you want the public to know, like for a vehicle that they may have seen? Make a model, color?
No, I mean, I think if you're in this area, and you know, we've talked to a lot of witnesses, and people have called us when they saw what was going on. So I think, I mean, obviously, if you think you may, obviously, we'll release more information about the suspect, and if you think you may have seen him or heard about this incident, or maybe think that he was involved in it, then you call. Any other questions? No?
Thanks
All right.
a lot.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
all. Have a good night.